both competitors, and there's no ill will. And once we both get punched in the face, like, we're gonna be locked in.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of.
Jake Paul appears shaken after learning that Floyd Mayweather has officially joined Gervonta Davis's training camp. Though Jake publicly insists he's staying positive and focusing on his health, his body language tells a different story. The news of Mayweather working closely with Tank has added a new layer of fear and intensity to the build-up. Fans believe Jake finally realizes he's not just facing a boxer, he's facing a refined product of Mayweather's genius. With Floyd guiding Davis's timing, defense, and precision, the threat level has skyrocketed. For Jake Paul, the pressure is clearly starting to show.
Cardio, the conditioning, it's a sprint and a marathon at the same time. But I feel great. So I don't know, after 5 years of doing it, I'm healthier than ever, mentally doing amazing. So I'm just always thinking of the positive. And even in sparring, I've never been knocked down or knocked out or anything. So I've just yet to experience any.
Have you ever been knocked out?
No, never. I was meditating once. That's how my nose is crooked. People think my nose is crooked from boxing, but I was meditating once. It's the only time I've ever passed out and I got knocked out. But I like was sitting on this higher chair thing, meditating, breathing in, and I think I had like low blood sugar or something, or it was early in the morning, earlier than I normally woke up, and I just fell forward straight into the concrete, and it broke my nose, and I was like knocked out.
Floyd Mayweather's arrival in Gervonta Davis's camp has completely changed the atmosphere. His legendary presence brings championship discipline, unmatched IQ, and a standard of perfection that few can maintain. Under Floyd's guidance, Davis has shifted focus toward technical sharpness, mental fortitude, and controlled aggression. Every move, every feint, every counter is now being refined under Mayweather's watchful eye. For Tank, this isn't just another fight, it's the biggest stage of his career. And he's being prepared by one of the greatest minds the sport has ever known. Boxing experts examining this matchup immediately point to one undeniable fact: the size gap. Gervonta Davis has built his legacy dismantling opponents in the lighter divisions, where his explosiveness and accuracy dominate. Jake Paul, on the other hand, walks in as a natural cruiserweight, taller, heavier, and with a longer reach. The physical contrast is staggering. Critics warn that the size difference is too extreme for any sanctioning body to consider this a fair or official contest. To them, it's not just a stylistic challenge, it's a biological mismatch that raises serious questions about safety and legitimacy.
Question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah,
you know,
big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed.
No, that was actually getting.
That is
sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we
Yes.
don't punch
Yeah.
each other in the jaw?
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so that
not
they can
very
get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
He's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well,
Oh,
Floyd
dude.
likely has shoes on
Oh,
there.
dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small.
Among the loudest supporters of Gervonta Davis is former UFC star Chael Sonnen. He's made it clear that this fight is about more than fame. It's about protecting boxing's identity. Sonnen acknowledges that Jake Paul brought millions of new eyes to the sport, but he believes that came at a cost. Questions about authenticity and quality. Now, the responsibility lies with Davis to restore balance. Sonnen sees this fight as boxing defending its honor, with Tank representing the purity and discipline of real fighters. If Davis wins convincingly, Sonnen says it will remind the world that skill and mastery still matter more than hype.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched them weigh in. I want to say it was like...
The entire reason boxing has weight classes is to preserve fairness and safety. And that's exactly what makes this fight controversial. Gervonta Davis is accustomed to quick, agile opponents within his range. Facing Jake Paul means stepping into the ring with someone who naturally carries more mass, muscle, and raw power. Even if Davis's skill surpasses Jake's, the physics of a matchup can't be ignored. The heavier man absorbs damage differently. The lighter man must work harder to make every shot count. Analysts agree that while Tank's speed and precision could neutralize some of Jake's advantages, the size disparity remains the fight's biggest X factor.
Hell, this fight was ever gonna happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, like, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never gonna happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You could still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed.
Throughout his career, Gervonta Davis has built his name on legacy. fighting real boxers chasing titles and proving his dominance the hard way. That's why some fans are puzzled by his decision to step into the ring with a social media star. They fear this matchup shifts focus from competition to spectacle, blurring the line between sport and entertainment. To them, Tank doesn't need the fame or the payday. His resume already speaks volumes. These loyal supporters worry that by facing Jake Paul, Davis might unintentionally validate influencer boxing. Still, others argue that Tank's involvement could do the opposite, expose the difference between clout and class once and for all.
Not the problem with boxing, Tank Davis is. Jake Paul's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a Disney Channel kid, YouTube star turned boxer. Of course, he's gonna make these stupid spectacle matchups. He doesn't care about his career, his legacy, or the sport. Meanwhile, we have Tank Davis, the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, who has real talent. And if he was actually consistent in the ring and was willing to get in with some of the best fighters in the world, he could be top 3 pound for pound best fighters in the sport. But instead, Tank just wants to hold up his division for 5 years and make a mockery of the sport, especially with this fight. I know Tank Davis multiple times has said he only cares about the money and just wants to make $100 million and go retire off an island somewhere, but that's bad for the sport, especially coming from one of our sport's biggest superstars. Look at guys like Naoya Inoue, Alexander Usyk, Terrence Crawford. Those guys are real fighters, okay? They challenge themselves against the best fighters in the world, and money comes their way too from it. Don't get it twisted. What's crazy is Tank would make just as much money if he fought Shakur, Devin Haney, even Teofimo Lopez. The biggest tragedy of all is the fact that Lamont Roach isn't getting his rematch. He got robbed in that fight with a knockdown. He definitely would have won the split decision, and he would have got his Buster Douglas moment, but he didn't, and now he can't even get a rematch because Tank is going to do this, and now Lamont Roach has to fight Pitbull Cruz instead. I used to be such a big Tank Davis fan, but over the last year and a half that I've had this channel, the amount of BS that I've had to report on Tank Davis just like this completely turned me off as a fan of Tank Davis. Jake Paul can do his thing with the influencers, with the MMA fighters, but with boxers, stop.
Boxing has evolved dramatically in recent years. Top-level fighters now struggle to attract massive attention unless their fights include drama, controversy, or viral moments. Analysts argue this shift reflects modern audience behavior. Fans crave entertainment over pure sport. They scroll quickly, react instantly, and value spectacle over substance. Promoters have adapted, focusing on what sells instead of what strengthens the sport. This environment has allowed influencer boxing to flourish, offering fast excitement and sensational storylines. But for purists, that rise comes at a cost. The skill, tradition, and discipline that once defined boxing are slowly being overshadowed by events built for clicks instead of credibility.
To where it's at, I'll expand on that. For one, you have good fights where I'm not talking about these type of fights, crossover type of fight, former Disney guy, influencer stuff, not. And Jake Paul has really promoted himself and acquitted himself to the point where he's kind of a boxer. Now, he hasn't fought the top names, I get it, blah, 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 but he's doing his thing. He's training like a boxer. He's not like taking it lightly, like streaming and then working on his YouTube more than he's working on his boxing. It is what it is, right? But beyond that, let's keep it going. I told you I'm about to really get unpacked. Subscribe to the channel. The reality is, the reason why I'm saying I blame you, the fans, is because we've had some very good fights, like David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, whatever. I'm talking in the last 5-10 years, right? Very good fights, all boxing. So not talking influencer or any type of crossover fight, right? Good fights, and then you got boxing fans in a niche sport who didn't further the exposure by advertising or buying the fight, mostly buying the fight with piracy and whatnot. So now we're at a point in this society where these companies, they're like, all right, they see the piracy is a problem. Now they're looking for sure shot, must win type of scenarios. That's why we're getting these fights that some people, purists and diehards, are calling wonky fights. You know what I mean? It is your fault, because when there was real boxing on,
as hype around the event exploded, organizers faced an unexpected setback. The first venue chosen to host the fight backed out, unwilling to be tied to something viewed more as entertainment than true competition. Officials believed the event didn't meet the standards of a sanctioned world-class bout. Promoters, however, moved fast. They contacted multiple arenas until one finally agreed, seeing the global attention and the money behind it. The relocation caused tension, but it also highlighted how adaptable the boxing business has become. When fame and fortune are at stake, logistics become secondary. The show must go on, and for this event, nothing was going to stop it.
Jake Paul is over 50 pounds heavier than Gervonta Tank Davis, and he's nearly a foot taller than Gervonta Tank Davis. So no sanction body wants to, and no commission wants to, should I say, I keep saying sanction body, no commission wants to sanction it. They don't want to be a part of it, as I told you guys. So they announced that the fight was going to take place November 14th in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena where the Atlanta Hawks play. And the Georgia Athletic Commission, he came out and he made a serious statement, and he let the world know that they falsely...
Jake Paul and his team understand modern entertainment better than most. Their success in boxing follows the same formula that built their online fame. Attention equals opportunity. By choosing opponents that spark buzz, they stay relevant, secure massive pay-per-view deals, and dominate headlines. Critics may doubt their legitimacy, but no one can deny their marketing genius. They don't chase belts, they chase moments that trend. Meanwhile, analysts say Gervonta Davis deserves far more credit than he gets. His fights elevate everyone who shares the ring with him. When opponents face Tank, their careers change forever because his presence brings exposure, pressure, and respect. Experts argue that before questioning Davis's decision to fight Jake Paul, fans should remember what he's already achieved. His legacy is built on real opponents, real risk, and real victories, something hype alone can never replicate.
A discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who is somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound champion.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, analysis, and behind-the-scenes coverage as this story continues to unfold. Until next time, fight fans, stay sharp and stay watching.